For 30 days from Monday, attention will be on the electoral body IEBC as it conducts a mass national voter registration. As at June 2015, 14.4 million Kenyans had been registered as voters, with only 106,601 new inclusions in the national roll of voters between April 2013 and June 2015. At 3.5 million, Rift Valley has the lion's share of the registered voters, followed by Eastern, Central and Nyanza regions. The statistics reveal that Nairobi County had more registered voters than Western and Coast regions, while Northeastern had the lowest voter population at 354,404. The exercise that kicks off tomorrow targets at least 4 million new voters and will be conducted in 5,756 registration centers spread across 1,450 wards.
This time we expect around 5,030,000 young people who will have turned 18 from the last election. That is our main focus.
At the moment, in this first registration, IEBC is targeting 4 million people. We are going to have 3.2 million people from our areas, our strongholds. That one is definitely, we are sure, we have the figures and we have everything.
As at 2014, 24 million national identity cards had been issued. However, only 14.4 million citizens had been registered as voters. With a potential voting population of 9 million citizens with national identity cards that had not been captured in the national roll of voters, the two main political coalitions have been strategizing on how to mobilize supporters in their strongholds to register. The opposition team CORD is keen on turning the tables on its Jubilee rivals this time round, with an analysis of the figures derived from IEBC statistics, indicating that there were at least 4.3 million potential new voters in perceived CORD strongholds. These include 3 Coast Region counties with at least 800,000 potential new voters. Kitui, Machakos and Makueni counties have in excess of 700,000 potential new voters, while the 4 counties in the former Western Province, Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia and Vihiga, have more than 1 million citizens with national identity cards who are not registered as voters. With 534,194 unregistered voters, Siaya County leads in the list of potential voters, and combined, all the counties in the former Nyanza province, the political turf of CORD leader Raila Odinga, has more than 1.5 million potential voters.
This time we are alert, we are awake and we are prepared. We want to make sure that IEBC handles voter registration in a way that is fair to every part of the country, whether it is Jubilee side or whether it is CORD side.
We are always ahead of the game. In the last election, we caught them unawares with respect to how we're able to mobilize to the village level. In fact, even to a smaller unit of 50 houses, people to, who worked with us at that time. This time, we are not only doing that, but we're also creating a different electorate. So we'll still be ahead of them in terms of thinking.
Though the Jubilee coalition had more of its supporters registered as voters ahead of the 2013 polls, there are at least 2.9 million potential voters who have since attained the age of 18 years. Meru, Tharaka Nithi and Embu counties account for at least 500,000 of the potential voters. Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a and Kiambu counties have more than 1 million potential voters, and another close to 1.4 million national identity card holders in Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Baringo, Laikipia, Nakuru and Kericho counties.
A wedding is not the ceremony. An election is not the day you walk into the ballot. It's the processes and systems you put in place way before the election. Elections are won way before you get into voting day. Boxing bouts are won way before you step into the ring, and so we're already preparing well for the election.
That tyranny of numbers, I believe is a fallacy. It's not something that is there, because the registration process did not happen in a proper, fair way. It happened in a skewed way where certain parts of the country received more registration kits than the other parts of the country. So you don't expect them to be equal.
Nairobi County has a potential voting population of 1.12 million people. With Jubilee and CORD each keen to control the capital city's politics, IEBC is targeting to register at least 943,606. As IEBC conducts the month-long voter registration, it has to grapple with questions raised on the integrity of the voter register and its impartiality as an arbiter in next year's general election.
In other words, people should know or the IEBC should maintain the voter register in such a manner that the national register is known, but also the county registers all the way to the polling station is also known. This will go a long way in boosting both the credibility of the register, but also the integrity of that register, which will in turn boost the credibility of the 2017 elections.
Voter registration is a continuous process. Those who don't get an opportunity to register as voters by March 15th can still do so at their respective constituency IEBC offices. Francis Gashuri, Sunday Live.